Hi guys, so a couple of nights ago I went to see Matilda the musical at last. I know, finally. After like over a year, like a year and a half of wanting to see it, I finally went and saw it. The reason it took me so long to see it is because usually when I go to the theatre, I mean one of the main reasons that I can afford to go to the theatre so much is because I usually buy discounted tickets or like, student discounts or day seats or just tickets, cheap tickets basically. It's very rare for me to pay anything over £25 for a ticket. Unfortunately, or I suppose you could say fortunately in a way, Matilda's doing so well that it doesn't do any discounts at the moment at all. So my only kind of option was to buy a full price ticket, and that's what I did. I ended up buying a £60 ticket, full price in the stalls to go and see Matilda. I just couldn't wait any longer, it had been ages and I just wanted to see it, and I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. So yeah, I mean, it was a bit weird to pay that much money for just one ticket. It's not something I'm used to at all, so I did feel a bit weird about it at first, and I was a bit apprehensive about it. I mean, obviously I knew that I was gonna enjoy it, because if I'm not sure that I'm gonna enjoy a show, I'm not prepared to pay that much for a ticket. Obviously, I had a feeling that I was gonna enjoy it based on like the trailer and stuff that I'd seen, but I was admittedly still a bit unsure and a bit worried and apprehensive, like I said, before I went to see it. Because I mean, £60 is quite a lot of money for a student to pay just for a ticket, really. But obviously I saw it a couple of nights ago and it was amazing. It was 100% worth it, and I would definitely do it again. I mean, I enjoyed it so much that during the interval I was already like planning in my head, trying to come up with like different ways of saving enough money to be able to go again as soon as possible. But anyway, let's talk about the actual show. The show was just brilliant. I couldn't fault it at all. It was just, so good. I don't really know where to start, really. Let's start with the music. So the music and lyrics is by Tim Minchin, who is an Australian comedian. And in my honest opinion, the music was just perfect. And by that I don't mean that it's necessarily the best musical score that I've ever heard, because it's not. But what I mean is, it was so appropriate and fitting for the story of Matilda. I don't really know how to explain it. It was just right, if that makes any sense at all. It just worked so well with the story, and I think that it was as if like the music was always meant to be there, as part of Matilda, the Matilda story in a way, Roald Dahl story, the story that we're all very familiar with. So that was really good. I was very pleased with the music. There's no like showstoppers or anything. I mean, there are quite a few really, really catchy songs, like Revolting Children, which is actually my personal favourite song. I just love it. But I don't think there was necessarily any like particularly standout songs, if that makes sense. All the songs were amazing. The songs do have a bit of a like rocky feeling to them, which I really like. I mean, I don't really know. The word that I use to describe the sound, the music for this musical is probably quirky. I think quirky is the right word, because the songs are just very unique and just really, really cool. This was my first experience of anything Tim Minchin, and I absolutely loved it. And so yeah, well done for writing such a brilliant score and amazing lyrics, just fabulous. So yeah, Tim Minchin is a very, very talented man. The plot slash story, I think everyone's familiar with it, so I'm not really going to go into the details and stuff. What I do want to say though is that a week ago, one day I decided to just reread Matilda, just because, I hadn't read it in a long time, and I was like, I just want to read it again. And so when I went to see the show, I had it fresh in my mind, the book, by Roald Dahl, and the musical isn't exactly like the book. There are a few bits in the show that are slightly different to what's written in the book, but I didn't mind really. And the things that had been changed for the stage didn't really take anything away from the actual story. The story is pretty much still the same. It's just a bit different. I mean, I can't remember ever having watched the film Matilda. I might have when I was younger. I don't remember though. So I don't know. The musical might be a bit more similar to the film rather than the book. But anyway, that doesn't really matter anyway. The show was still amazing. The sets, incredible. I mean, even when you first get to the theatre and the first kind of view that you get of the stage, it's just so colourful and so it's awesome and cool. And I mean obviously because Matilda, there's quite a few scenes where Matilda goes to the library and there's like this massive, all these massive shelves with books and stuff, and it's just so cool. It kind of feels like you really, the sets kind of actually take you back to your childhood in a way. I mean, I don't know, the whole thing just felt kind of magical. Just all the colours, and yeah, it was very creative. The lighting, obviously, like, I don't really know much about lighting and stuff. I'm just a theatre goer, but As someone who goes to theatre quite a lot, I thought the lighting was excellent. Like I said, I can't really make any professional comments on this because, theatre is not my profession. But as an audience member, as a viewer, I just thought the lighting was really, really good. It was just really diverse and very specific in different scenes. I mean, the lighting just instantly grabbed my attention. I see shows quite a lot, and the lighting is not something that I usually pay too much attention to be honest. For some reason in Matilda, the lighting just, I don't know, for some reason I couldn't help but think about it and actually kind of pay attention to it. I think it was just because the lighting, there was loads of colours and the colours kept changing a lot in different scenes, and I just thought it was a really kind of creative way of changing the moods and stuff. Like I said, I'm sorry, I know that this probably sounds like rubbish to you because I'm just telling you how I felt about the lights, and yeah. The choreography, definitely one of the standouts of the show. It was, again, just so perfect and amazing. It's choreographed by the same guy who's choreographed Billy Elliot the musical, Peter Darling. He's a genius. I mean, it's like all the moves are so fitting and right for what the children are singing in the songs, basically. The choreography just looks exciting, for what the kids are doing on stage. Very fun, very energetic. It's like all the actions and movements that they're doing on stage really complements what they're singing, the lyrics of the song, which is great because it makes the whole kind of dance more natural and the show more believable. So yeah, it was just amazing. I absolutely loved the choreography. Talking about the actors, that's probably the last thing I'm going to talk about. We had Sophia on as Matilda, Sophia Huey, I believe. She was really good, really, really good. Amazing voice, great little actress, bless her. Apparently she's leaving next month, actually. I think she's been in a quiet for quite a while. So I'm really glad that I got to see her before she goes. I mean, as you can probably imagine, Matilda's on stage for a lot of the show. And, for an actress as young as her, she must have been, probably about 11 or 12. I mean, I could not have done what she does on a daily basis when I was her age. I couldn't even do it now. I'm just not as talented. But yeah, she was brilliant. But then all the other kids were great as well, the company, all the kind of kid actors in the show. They were all just amazing. And yeah, they did just make me so jealous because it's just not fair that they're like, I don't know, at least 10 years younger than me and they're so good and I can't even, life is so unfair. One thing that I was particularly pleased about was I got to see Fleur Hooditch on stage that night. She's in one of the groups because there's different groups of kids playing each night. And I'd seen her and Billy Elliot playing the role of Debbie a few years ago, so it was really good. It was really fun to see her on stage again. She's just as amazing as she was in Billy Elliot. She was, it was just great to see her. And yeah, just a great bunch of, young actors. Wow. The adult cast, just as good. There were quite a lot of ensemble numbers, which I generally really like in the show. Some of the kids were played by adults in the show, which was quite interesting. And it was kind of interesting to see some choreography done by both kids and adults playing kids. So it was like a mix of them. And it worked really well, actually. The principal cast, we had the understudy Miss Trunchbull on, which I was a bit gutted about at first because, Bertie Carvel's been raved about so much, and one of the main reasons that Matilda's been getting such great reviews, I think is because of Bertie Carvel. Not that I've seen him, but in the reviews and stuff, he's been mentioned a lot, and everyone's like, oh my god, you should go and see it because he's amazing as Miss Trunchbull. So I was quite annoyed at first that he wasn't on. Then the actor that we had on as Miss Trunchbull, when I saw the show, Alistair Parker, was amazing in my opinion. He was really, really good. Obviously I can't compare him to anyone else because he's the only Miss Trunchbull I've seen on stage, but I thought he was really good. He was funny, he really because it is quite hard to play a woman's part, but he did a really good job, I thought. And I'm actually glad that I saw him because it's always interesting and fun and exciting to see understudies on. It's nice to see kind of different portrayals and stuff, and I'm definitely going to go back and see Bertie at some point. So yeah, it's it's all good, There were two adult cast members who I just thought were excellent. The first one was the actor playing Mr. Wormwood. Mr. Wormwood was played by Paul Kay, and he was just so good in a really weird way. He played it exactly like how I'd imagined Mr. Wormwood to be in my head when I read the book ages ago when I was little. It was exactly like how I'd imagined it, which was really fun for me. He was in character the whole time, and he was just so funny, like annoying but funny at the same time. He was just brilliant. I just loved his character. I thought in general, I thought it was a brilliant character, and any scene that he was in, I found that I really enjoyed them. So yeah, a brilliant performance by him. A really, really great actor. Another one of the cast members that really, really impressed me was the actress playing Miss Honey, Lauren Ward. Again, she played it exactly like how I'd imagined it when I'd read the book. The way her portrayal of the character was just the same as the image that I've always had of Miss Honey in my head, which was really interesting. I just thought she showed the character's vulnerability really, really well, and she had great chemistry with the girl playing Matilda, Sophia, as well, which was great and really cute. So yeah, the whole cast just amazing overall. Yeah, the show itself, honestly, just go and see it. I mean, it was definitely one of the best shows I've ever seen. Not just this year, just one of the best shows I've ever seen in my lifetime. And it's like up for 10 Olivia Awards next month. That's a lot of Olivia Awards. I hope it wins as many of them as possible, because it really deserves to. About a year ago, I made a video saying that I thought Ghost Musical was the best new musical in town. At the time I hadn't seen Matilda, obviously. I don't think it even opened in London at the time. But obviously now I've seen Matilda. I think Matilda's slightly better than Ghost. I mean, I still love Ghost. I think Ghost is amazing, but I do kind of want Matilda to win the Olivier for Best Musical, because I think it deserves it more, slightly, maybe, I don't know. Because, like, wow, Matilda's got everything you'd want from a musical. I mean, it's just, like, you just sat there and, like, it's just, wow, I can't even speak, that's how good it is. I mean, it's funny. The musical's funny. I did not expect it to be so funny. I did not expect to be sat there like laughing every now and then. I think it's got a really, really witty script. Because I mean, obviously the show is based on Roald Dahl's book, but the book of the musical is done by well, I don't know actually, Dennis Kelly, and it's just brilliant. It's so witty, so funny. And yeah, I loved it, but at the same time, all the emotional parts are done really, really well as well. Like, I did not expect to cry at this show. Like, what the hell? I mean, I'd read the book, and Matilda was never a book that kind of was particularly emotional, in my opinion. I never kind of thought that the story was too sad or anything. But for some reason, in the show, I just ended up crying, and I was like, what is going on here? Leave the crying to Billy Elliot. Like, what? That just shows how good it is, though, because for a show to have like that impact on you and be able to kind of bring those emotions out in you is just amazing. There were just so many great moments in the show. Like, I can't even pick a favourite moment, because like it's like you were sat there and like every 5 minutes or so, something really cool and unexpected would happen, and you'd be like sat there thinking, oh my god, wow, like that is so cool, wow. And at the end of the day, that's what you want from a musical, isn't it? You want to be wowed and amazed at the same time, as much as possible when you're watching it. And Matilda definitely offers that. So yeah, it's just the perfect show to go to, really. I'm going to be a bit maybe harsh and say that I think it's possibly about time that the Wizard of Oz closes in the West End. I mean, I think there's too many good shows for kids at the moment in London. Because I mean, we've got Shrek, which is quite good. We've got Matilda, obviously, which is amazing, and The Lion King, which is phenomenal. And I just think out of all these shows, like, Matilda is just perfect to go to if you've got kids, because both kids and adults can enjoy it at the same time. It's just because it's so much fun, and yeah. So yeah, the Wizard of Oz. I mean, maybe I don't know. I mean, the Wizard of Oz had a good run so far. So I don't know. It wouldn't be too sad if it does close. I'm not being harsh or anything. Like, no disrespect to the cast or the production. It is a quite a good show, to be fair. I just don't think there's a need for it anymore, if I'm honest. Just bring something else to that theatre. I mean, the Palladium is one of the best theatres in the West End. Yeah, sorry, I'm being too harsh now. So yeah, fantastic show. Definitely go and see it if you can. I can assure you it's worth the money. If you're going, especially for your first time, it's definitely worth buying like good seats in the stalls or like the first few rows of dress circle. I'm definitely planning on going back as soon as I can afford to go back. And yeah, that's what I'm going to say about Matilda the Musical. I'm really glad that I finally managed to see it. And I think I forgot to mention what theatre it's in. It's at the Cambridge Theatre in London, the Matilda the Musical. And yeah, if you have seen it already, feel free to leave comments and let me know, like, what you thought of the show and stuff, and who you had on as Matilda and all that fun stuff. Bye!